I am losing my mind. I don't know how to feel right now. We have breaking news. The New York Knicks have just traded for Mikal Bridges. That's right. I didn't stutter. You heard me right. Leon Rose worked magic, and he got Mikal Bridges on this roster. I can't believe it. When I read the report, I was shocked. I thought I was dreaming. I couldn't believe that the Knicks finally pulled it off. They got Mikal Bridges on this team, and what a sight it was to see. We're going to break down all of this and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks trade for Mikal Bridges. I released a video earlier today. I said it to you guys. I told you the Knicks checked in on Mikal Bridges. And everybody told me I was crazy thinking about, why should we think about Mikal? Mikal's not going to come here. It's not realistic. But I told you, watch Leon Rose and watch what he does. Because we said it before. Leon Rose, he is always going to work magic. He is going to do something that takes it off for the Knicks, that makes us go to the next level. I told you that Mikal Bridges was the final piece, the perfect piece, number one on my list for the target the Knicks needed to go after. All the reports were there. We saw all the seeds, but we didn't want to believe it. And why? 1983. The last time the Knicks and the Nets did any type of trades together. And I see you, chat gang. I see you're live. We're going to get to your comments. But first, we got to get to this trade. The Knicks made a massive trade for Mikal Bridges. We're going to break it down step by step so you can see the entire trade that they did. Some people are hating against it. Some people think that we overpaid. But you know what? Sometimes to get the perfect piece, you have to overpay. But let's talk about that overpayment. Let's go to Adrian Wojnarowski and his recent report here. According to Woj, he dropped a breaking news Woj bomb that states the Brooklyn Nets have agreed in principle on a trade to send forward Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic, 4 unprotected first-round picks, a protected first-round pick via the Bucks, an unprotected pick swap, and a second-rounder. Now, we're going to go into each and every one of those picks and what year they're unprotected. But if you look at that package, isn't it similar to the package that I said earlier when I did that video? In terms of an overpay, they were likely going to have to give up how many picks? 6 first-rounders and a couple of players. Now, I included Deuce in my thing. They didn't give up Deuce. Before we go into what they gave up and quote-unquote the overpay, let's talk about what they have right now. And let's also get it twisted. Let's also make sure we're not getting it twisted here. Just because they signed Mikal Bridges, it doesn't mean that OG Anunoby is not going to be a player that they're going to look to re-sign. As soon as this happened, look at what Ian Begley reported here. Shout out to Ian Begley. The Knicks trade for Mikal Bridges does not, let me repeat that again for everybody in the back, does not change their hope that they can re-sign OG Anunoby in free agency. You know what the Knicks just created? Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Isaiah Hartenstein. That starting 5 is a finals team. That goes all the way to the NBA Finals. And did you guys know we didn't trade away any of our unprotected picks for this year? That means we have all of those picks that we can still use to add low-cost players to this team. Make this team get better. Low-cost additions that can help fill the void. Exactly what the Knicks were doing. But we needed a true two-guard. Mikal Bridges adopts that role for us. He sends Dante DiVincenzo to the bench. What happens to our bench now with Dante, Deuce, and Josh Hart on it? Let me see. Think about it for a second. We just got better. We just went off. The Knicks just took it from here, off screen, all the way to there. We're on a next level. We're on another level. We did exactly what we needed to do. We took all the momentum that we had from this season and we used it and converted it with all the picks we were sitting on. For who? The perfect piece. Mikal Bridges. My goodness, I don't know what to say. I am so extremely hyped. Talk about all the things that you thought wouldn't happen. Talk about all the moves you thought wouldn't happen. OG Anunoby, there's no way the Knicks could get him. We're suing the Raptors. Leon Rose said, hold my stuff real quick. Let me go ahead and pick up this phone. Oh yeah, we'll do that. Got us OG Anunoby. Everybody told him, you're not going to get Mikal Bridges. Oh yeah? Okay. It's a bit of an overpay, but you know what? Jalen Brunson wants him on this team. I'm going to go ahead and get him on this team. He's a Knick. Mikal Bridges is a Knick. Look at this report. Adrian Wojnarowski states the Knicks traded with the Brooklyn Nets to get him on this team. The Knicks got Mikal Bridges and 1 second-round pick in 2026. The Knicks get Bojan Bogdanovic. 4 Knicks unprotected first. We're talking about 2025, 2027, 2029, and 31. And then we have the Knicks giving up that protected Milwaukee pick, 2025, an unprotected pick swap of 2028. And then the Knicks also give up their second 2025 pick as well, too. So you have all of those picks included in order for the Knicks to get Mikal Bridges. Say what you want to say. You can light it up in the chat. You can light it up in the comments. Was it an overpay? I'll be happy to tell you. It was an overpay. The Knicks overpaid for Mikal Bridges. They gave up too much for Mikal Bridges because nobody on this planet is going to convince me that 4 unprotected first-round picks that go into 2031 is not even slightly an overpay. But let me counter and say this. They needed to make this move. They needed to add Mikal Bridges to this team because Mikal is the missing piece. And our championship window, our window to compete and win, is right now. We are in it. Jalen Brunson just showed you why. Superstar status. His window is now, which means our window is now. We have about 4 or 5 years. The Knicks have to make the right moves, the right trades, add the right pieces. They hit a home run with Mikal Bridges. He's the perfect fit. He's the perfect player, and he is the guy that we needed on this team. All of you in the comments, I remember you. You told me in so many of my videos, oh, it's clickbait, Troy. Why are you doing a video about this, Troy? It doesn't matter, Troy. We're never going to get him, Troy. Talk about something realistic. Are you questioning me now? Are you saying anything to me now? And for the people that rode with me, thank you so much. You remember the Mikal Bridges short I did a couple of weeks ago, right? About May 30th, I said, Bill Simmons called it. The Knicks will trade for Mikal Bridges this summer. It's June 25th. I think we're about the summer. Mikal Bridges is a Knick. I think that was accurate. What I'm trying to say is I am excited and hyped that we finally have the missing Infinity Stone on this team. But enough about me and my comments. Let's go to you guys and see what you guys have to say in the chat, gang. You guys are lighting it up right now, and I'm so happy to get your comments. We're going to get to them, and then we're going to go back to some other updates from Ian Bagley. So hold on tight. We're going to get to some more updates. But you guys are going off right now. Let's see what you guys have to say. Will says, finally. Edson says, Randall ain't going nowhere. You're right. You know why they gave up all those picks? It's because they wanted to protect the core. We still have Jalen. We still have Julius. We still have OG, and we're going to resign OG. Best believe that. And we now have Mikal Bridges. Who doesn't want to play for the Knicks? The Knicks are back, baby. We are attractive again, baby. Everybody in the league is looking at the Knicks and thinking to themselves, I got to get there. I got to be there. That's the place I want to be. And I can't blame them because New York is lit. We have Mikal Bridges on this team. Oh, my God. If I'm screaming into the mic, I apologize. I can't hold it back. I told you. I warned you for this, okay? If this were to happen, I was going to go off. I'm going off. Let's keep it going. Knicks fan says Nova Knicks. Big Taz says let's go. Odair says let's go. Jay Official says let's go. Everybody's hyped for this move, man. Edison says yes. We have Big Taz says Nova boys. Jose says fantastic news. Now we need Zach in the draft. Listen, right now we can talk about the draft. It's tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll probably do a live once the Knicks pick up their draft tomorrow. If you want to see me go live again tomorrow during the draft, hit that like button. Make sure you drop a lot of hearts and leave some comments below. If I know you want that, I'll make sure I do that for you guys. But definitely right now, I'm not thinking about the draft. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about Mikal Bridges joining the Knicks, us going off right now. This is the roster that we have. Talk about the chemistry. He doesn't even have to work at it. He has chemistry with all of our main guys. Think about that for a second. Jimmy says, thank you, Knicks. Robert says, or Deuce, we still got Deuce. You damn straight we got Deuce still. We still kept Deuce McBride, and we made this trade. Low-key, such an amazing move. How do you just give up Bojan Bogdanovic? I know it's a lot of picks, 6 first-round picks, 4 of them unprotected. 1 of them is the Milwaukee pick. 1 of them is a pick swap, and the other one is a second-round pick. Of course, you can look at it like that, and you can think about it as an overpay. But if you look at it like I do, we kept all of our all-stars. We kept our best defender in OG Anunoby, who I believe the Knicks will re-sign. And we also now have, basically, if you take out OG Anunoby, he's probably the next best wing in the league. And not only can he play wing, he can also play small guard as well. So he can play that for the Knicks. He can join the backcourt for the Knicks. So you're telling me I get Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges in the backcourt, I get in a high elite level offensive player and in a huge high level defender in Mikal Bridges in my backcourt? Who's stopping that? Better yet, who's stopping Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby? Better yet, who's stopping Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby? And if you manage to get past that and get into the paint, who's stopping iHeart? The Knicks are running through you. You better circle every Knicks game on the calendar next year because it's must-watch TV. You don't think they're going to lock down people? Defense is only going to get better. Mikal Bridges under Tom Thibodeau, a high-level defender, can score whenever you want him to, and he doesn't disrupt what Jalen and Julius give you. Jalen can still go off. Julius can still go off. And if they're getting double-teamed or triple-teamed, you can give the ball to Mikal because as your third option on this team, Mikal Bridges is perfectly suited to go off for the Knicks next season because he's in the best situation. You could argue he was in a good situation in Phoenix. Now he's more experienced. He knows his skill set more. He knows what he wants to do. He knows his role now. He doesn't have to wonder, well, you know what? Maybe I think about being a number 1. Maybe I want my own team. Doesn't have to think about that anymore. He did that. He knows it doesn't work. That's not his role. His role is being the 3rd best player on a championship team. The Knicks just created a championship team. And folks, we're not done yet. We still have the draft to look forward to, free agency to look forward to, and like I said, because the Knicks are attractive, who's not going to want to sign on to that veterans minimum to get on this Knicks team, to stay with this team, to make sure this team is even better? Who's not going to want to do that? I'm telling you, if I was a free agent and I'm looking at the East and I saw the Knicks just pick up Mikal Bridges, my eyes are locked in on them, and they're the team I'm going to want to join. It's just plain and simple. But we're going to keep going with these comments here. Dope Dude said, they freed Squidward. We got him. He's no longer looking out the window. Remember the window? Looking at everybody having fun? Now he's part of the fun. No more window. The window is abandoned. No more meme. It's gone. The group chat now says Nova Knicks. You know what it used to say? 3 Novas and a net. Now it's 4 Novas. Oh my goodness. Can you guys believe it? Mikal Bridges in a Knicks uniform. I'm still mind boggled by it. I think I'm dreaming a little bit. I can't believe it. And the thing is, when I'm so hype and passionate, I had to do a live. I was thinking to myself, I'm creating everything. I'm creating all the content for. I'm creating all the graphics. Why don't I just do it live? Everybody's hype. I'm hype. I want to show you guys how hype I am. I can't even speak. I'm losing my breath as I talk because of how hype I am. This is going to get clipped by 15 different people that states Knick fan goes ape shit because he can't believe that somebody like Mikal Bridges joined this team. And you know what? That's exactly what it's going to be. I don't know what to say, guys. The Knicks completed the team we always needed. Let's keep it going here. Reading your comments. Jerome says, the Affinity Gauntlet is complete. Music Man says, shocked we didn't have to give up 2024 picks. That's what I'm saying. Look again at this. We gave up those 4 unprotected picks. 25, 27, 29, 31. Bucks pick, 25. Unprotected pick swap, 28. And then that second pick in 2025. But none of the picks from this year. That means the Knicks are absolutely drafting players. You can't give up all of this and expect to compete for a chip unless you're giving something back in the draft. And if you're drafting rookies, that means you're filling the void at low cost. That's what the Knicks need right now. They need low-cost additions. And the only way you get that is by drafting. They have 3 picks in this year's draft, 24, 25, and an early 38 second-round pick. They are going to be flush with draft assets if that's what they want. They can still draft one player, trade a couple of picks for more assets, and use those assets to get another impactful player. The Knicks are not done. We're in June 25th. Draft is tomorrow, and then the second day is on June 27th. You think the Knicks are done? You think the Knicks are done with all the moves they're going to make? Not even close. They still have moves to make. There are still going to be players out there, but the major move, the major star, the player that I knew that I was saying for months was going to be here, that I said the Knicks had to make that trade because financially they needed to make that trade. They were not going to be able to do it in 2026. They were not. They were going to be so down dragged by all of these contracts because they were going to have to pay people. They're going to have to pay Jalen Brunson, make a decision on Julius Randle. It doesn't get easier in the future. You have to make decisions now. They needed to do this trade either now or moving into the next season at the trade deadline. And the Knicks didn't want to do that because if you go into a season with a team that you thought you were going to have, and then you add a major player at the trade deadline, it messes up all the chemistry. Now, maybe you have an OG Anunoby moment and it works magically, but that doesn't always happen. You're not always going to have an OG situation happen where he just comes in and fits seamlessly. Now, do I think that Mikal Bridges will likely have that happen to him? Absolutely, because he's joining Jalen, Josh, and of course, Jalen, Josh, and Dante DiVincenzo. Almost forgot the other Villanova guy. You have those 3. Of course, he has chemistry with them. He knows how they play. He knows where they want the ball. And better than that, they know where he wants the ball. They know how he plays. Josh Hart has been saying to Mikal for months, I think, call my phone. Call my phone. You know what? I guess he called his phone. Let's take a look at some other updates from Ian Bagley before we go to more of your comments, guys. So according to Ian, that's the other one I had. According to Ian Bagley here, Mikal Bridges' deal came together quickly after Bridges informed the Nets that he wanted to be a Knick. Bridges was prepared to sign with New York, and his side was prepared to use that as leverage to keep other teams from trading for him. Do you see that? Do you see what happened? That is what it took. We talk about all these trades. We talk about all the packages, everything given up. But there was one thing that was always needed: the desire, the want, the need, the desire for Mikal Bridges to say, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be part of this situation. I want to go play with my boys. I want to go to the Knicks. We thought it wouldn't happen. We thought Mikal was too nice to do that. You know what? He's not that nice, I guess, because he's nice enough to know when he needs to leave a situation. He wasn't going to be the guy in Brooklyn. The owner stated they wanted to rebuild. If you're a player on that team, you're a quote-unquote all-star or star, and you hear the owner say that he wants to not win now, but he wants to build toward the future. How do you feel about that? because you're in your prime years as Mikal Bridges. You want to win now. And I'm sure looking across the bridge, looking at the Knicks, that's what he was seeing. He was seeing all of his guys win, and he wants to help with that. And now he's going to have the opportunity to do so. He is a Knick. He has joined the New York Knicks. He is a Nova guy again because he's joined the Nova Knicks. Let's face it. Let's call it what it is. And now the Knicks are going to proceed with this core intact. And the core still adds OG Anunoby. I don't care who wants to say it in the chat. This does not mean that OG is gone. If anything, this strengthens the fact that OG might take a discount because he sees the Knicks. He sees what the Knicks are doing. He sees us building a championship contender. And if you see that, you're obviously going to try to stay with that team because it gives you the best chance of winning. I don't care what the Philadelphia 76ers are going to offer him. The point is that the Knicks can give Anunoby more money over more years. And his agent is Sam Rose. Our president is Leon Rose. Can we stop all of this? Can we stop the fact that he's not going to resign? He is going to resign. The only question is what the number is going to be. I think it's going to be $37.5 million, maybe to $40 million. But that's all we're talking about here. Just the number. Everybody in the NBA has already stated OG is likely going to remain a Knick. And if multiple NBA insiders have confirmed it for weeks, I'm going to go with that. They said the same thing about Mikal Bridges, and now he's a Knick. Let's keep it going here. This shop says, I'm looking forward to JB and Hart podcast. I can't wait for the roommate show. They're not going to address it during Mitchell Robinson because they already shot that episode, but they're definitely going to address it during the next one. But good comment there. Hunter says, yes, sir. Rob says, we need a secondary scorer. Well, you have one with Julius Randle. You have that secondary scorer with Julius Randle. You have Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle. Mikal Bridges can score whenever you need him to. And OG Anunoby, before he went down, he was blossoming. He was looking great on offense. I think he's going to look like that and then some headed into next season. Remember, guys, he never had a training camp under the Knicks. That means his conditioning was always poor, maybe likely leading to his injuries. One training camp under Tom Thibodeau, coming into camp shape, and you know that's what they're going to talk to him about, especially dealing with all of these injuries. I think this year, Anunoby's going to turn some heads. I'm going to call it right now. I think Anunoby plays the most games that he's played in his career as a Knick headed into next year. Maybe it's 60 games, maybe it's 70 games, but I think it's going to be around that. I'm not saying he's not going to get injured, but I don't think he's going to miss as many games as he did this year. Let's keep it going with your comments. I want to go to some new people, so apologies if I skip you, but you guys already know if you hit the super chat, you could donate to the show and your comment will be prioritized. If you want to get up here and say anything about the Knicks, that's how you do it to make sure I see your comment. But other than that, I'm going to go through them as I can. Jeep says, let's go. It seems like everybody is hype about this show. Everybody's hype about Mikal Bridges. I haven't seen anybody saying anything negative yet, and I'm surprised. I thought I would see more negative comments. But you know what? Look who I'm talking to. It's my community, my audience. So, of course, you guys are on board for the Mikal Bridges trade because you knew it was coming. As one person called it here, Jeremiah, shout out to you. He said it, and I quote, you called it. I did, but I don't want to take a lot of credit for that. I called it based on the reports that I was receiving and that I told you guys. So, yeah, I more or less came to the same conclusion that a lot of other NBA insiders did, but I did it based off of their information. And a lot of you guys could have done the same thing as well, too. So I want to mention that as well. I don't want to say that I created it or I'm the one that did it or I caused it. There's nothing like that at all. I prayed for it. I hoped for it. I covered it a lot, given all the reports that came out. And I'm just so hyped that we're finally here at a place where we're talking about it as reality. We don't talk about it as what ifs anymore. It's not that. It's real. That's where we're at. Keep it going here. State of the Knicks is just laughing right now. And I know why, because he can't believe it. Low Boogie says, Troy, it's Don Leon and La Costra Nova. I love that. J-Rod says, New York sports is looking great. Can't deny that. John says 5 picks in the 20 range for Bridges, who's a perfect fit. That part. Why is nobody mentioning that? Why is nobody mentioning that? We gave up those unprotected picks. We did. I'll give you that. How good is this Knicks team going to be for the next 5 years? Because I think they're going to be a playoff team for the next 5 years. What does that do with their pick? It means it's a top 20 pick. Now, listen, I'm not saying to punt on the draft. You should always draft when you have a chance to. But all I'm saying is, if we're giving up picks that are likely in the 20s, are we really that concerned? Are you really that bothered? Are you really that upset that we lost a couple of picks in the 20s and we got Mikal Bridges that could help us win a championship right now? And not only now, in the future, the year after that, the year after that. This is what we need to talk about. Shout out to you. I'm so happy you gave us that comment because really nobody was talking about it. Appreciate you. Let's see. Carlos says, yeah, Troy, we did it. Yes, sir, Carlos. We definitely did. We completed the Nova Knicks. Mikal Bridges, check. We needed the roster to be completed, and we got it done. Let me give it to you again for everybody in the back who didn't hear my rant about why Mikal Bridges is the perfect fit. Here's why. Mikal Bridges is the perfect fit because of his style of play. High-level defender, doesn't need the ball to be impactful, and that's major. When you're playing with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, two high-level offensive scorers, you have to be a player that doesn't take away from that. Mikal Bridges, perfect. High-level defender under head coach Tom Thibodeau. You guys think about that for a second. How does that sound? Chemistry with this team has it in spades with our superstar point guard in Jalen Brunson. What else could you want? Look at all the stars around the league right now. What else could a star give you on this Knicks team if they were traded here that you could want? He doesn't even take away from Jalen Brunson's greatness. So everything Jalen Brunson gave you this year, he's going to give you that and then some next year because he's going to have a high-level defender in the backcourt with, excuse me, I can't even breathe right now. He has a high-level defender in the backcourt with him in Mikal Bridges. And because of that, he's going to be able to score with the best of them. Excuse me. My goodness. You know how it gets sometimes when you're just hype. Let me take some water real quick. It's just so crazy right now, guys. I'll put up the trade again. Again, the Knicks get Mikal Bridges. They trade for the final piece that they needed. And in return, they give up Bojan Bogdanovic. They give up 4 unprotected picks, likely in the 20s anyways. And then you got the 25th pick from Milwaukee, 28 unprotected pick with a pick swap, I should say. And then the Knicks second round pick in 2025. We got James in the chat. Shout out to your super chat. I appreciate you, James. You say that now we have the final Infinity Stone. James Wetfield, I absolutely agree with you, sir. We have the final piece. He is the missing link. He was the guy we always needed. We've said it since last year, or at least I have. I've said it since I was blue in the face. We needed Mikal Bridges last year. We needed him this year. We were supposed to need him next year, but now we don't have to worry about it anymore because we finally have him on this team. The team is set right now. All you need to do is re-sign the players that we need to re-sign, OG and iHeart, and then draft the players that you need to fill the void. Maybe it's Ryan Dunn. Maybe it's Ware. Maybe it's a couple of these other guys that may drop. Maybe you get a Zach Edey. Maybe he does drop. I'm not sure. We don't know what's going to happen during draft night, especially during a weak draft. But you got to understand, the fact that the Knicks didn't trade those picks from this year, that means one of two things. They have those picks likely involved in another trade scenario to either move up or get another impactful player, or those picks are reserved for 2 impactful players that fill the void. Maybe it's Dunn and Ware. If Ware falls that far, I don't know if he will. Maybe he goes to 15 tops. I don't know anymore because with the latest mock drafts, they always change. Sometimes he's at 5. Sometimes he's at top 10 overall. Sometimes he drops to 25. So you never really can understand who's going to be available until you're drafting. But one thing is clear. The Knicks believe, and sources already stated this from the Knicks, they believe in this draft, you can get talent no matter where you are. That's important. A Knicks executive stating that tells you everything that you need to know. It tells you that means they've already identified some players that fill the void. I can't wait to see who that player is, but I know it's a player that the Knicks are going to need. It's a player that's going to support this win now window that we basically created by adding Mikal Bridges. That's what we've done here. Let's keep the comments rolling. Excuse me, guys. Let's keep the comments rolling here. We have, let me see, is that Roger? Roger says, I think the Knicks have another move and it's going to draft the center from Purdue. Maybe. That could be the move. Let's see. Dwayne says, let's go Knicks. Rob says, Rob is not happy. Rob, leave in the chat why you're not happy. I would love to understand why. Steph Morgan says, let's go Knicks Nation. Stand up. I don't know if he says bung, but I'm going to say it for him. I think he's saying bang. So in my best Mike Green impersonation, bang! The Knicks just got Mikal Bridges. The Knicks just traded for Mikal Bridges, completing the entire Infinity Stone. We have everything that we need at this point. All we need to do is wait and be patient and just look to our president, Leon Rose. Have you heard me say anything bad about Leon yet? Has anybody heard me say anything bad about Leon as of right now? Since he made the OG Anunoby move, I've been quiet. And even now, I can't say anything but praise for Leon. Doing all of this, keeping your picks from this year, that's impressive. We have another super chat from Meet the Connect, and he says, the Nova Knicks are in full effects. I'm hype as AF. And you know what? I'm hype as well, too. Nobody ever expected this. Nobody thought that the Knicks would be at this point in time having Mikal Bridges on their roster. We didn't think it was possible because everybody told us we couldn't. And you know the thing about Leon Rose, he doesn't like to hear that. You know, with OG Anunoby, they said we couldn't get OG Anunoby. Really? We can't get him? Got him now. You can't get Mikal Bridges. Really? I can't get him? Got him now. It seems like everything you tell Leon he can't do, he just finds a way to do. Some way. Push, shove, whatever it is, he finds a way to contribute. He finds the way to make the impactful move. And he just did it with Bridges. Again, something that you could not believe happened. We also have another update here from Ian Bagley. I want to get to that really quickly here. It's not that one, actually, it's this one. According to Bagley, he states, the Nets surely did not want to trade Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, but Bridges' side was prepared to force the issue by telling teams he wanted to be a New York Knick. Bridges' side made it clear to Brooklyn that he wanted to be a Knick and reunite with his Villanova teammates in Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo. That takes a lot of heart to be able to do that. No pun intended. Think about that. Mikal Bridges, as we're speaking right now, is the face of the Nets. He's the face of that franchise. Do you know what it takes for the face of the franchise when you know everybody's watching you to walk up to the GM and say, I don't want to be here anymore. I already see the writing on the wall. I know what you're doing, and I don't want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of a winning situation. And I'm looking at my boys. They're with the Knicks. They're winning, and they're doing it injured. We were healthy, and we really couldn't do it. And they did it injured. If I went there, they would make better use of me, better use of my time, better use of my prime years. That's why I want to go there. And then credit to Sean Marks, because he has been one of the main factors to why this trade has never happened. And you know what? Credit to him by listening to Mikal Bridges and listening to what his star player had to tell him. And he told him, I don't want to be here anymore. And he said, all right, I'll trade you. And he didn't have to do that. He could have waited. He could have waited for the best deal. He could have waited till next season. He could have done so many things. But he said, nope, I'm going to do it right now. I'll trade you. I'll get as many assets back, and I'll make sure this is the team that I have moving forward, a rebuilding team. And even though I'm trading you to my rival in the Knicks, I know that's what you wanted. You wanted to be a Knick. And in the long run, it does the Knicks favor to trade Mikal to the destination he wants to go to. Because now everybody in the NBA is looking at the Nets and thinking to themselves, you know what? Maybe they're not such a bad organization. At least they trade the stars that they have to the destinations they want to go to. I'm sure that's what at least that's what some people are talking about with the Nets right now. And if you want to save face and you're Sean Marks, maybe that's what you do. Maybe that was part of this deal. Either way, I don't care about the Nets. I don't care about what they got. I don't care about what they're doing. I care about us. I care about the Knicks. I care about everything that we're building. and we're doing. And right now, the Knicks are on a level that I've never seen in my entire lifetime. They have a team that I've never seen in my entire lifetime. Andrew, shout out to you, brother. I appreciate you for the super chat. You say, so who is our starting five? Is that right? Or our starting guard going to be? Well, if you're saying starting five, I already said it earlier in the video. I'll say it again. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Isaiah Hartenstein. That starting five goes all the way to the NBA Finals. Your bench is Deuce, Dante DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart. And I'm not talking about the other players they're going to have on that bench, likely rookies to fill the void. What if a couple of the other rookies on that bench was done? Was some of these other players potentially that the Knicks are going to draft? What if it was one of those guys and they were getting significant time? Would you be mad? Or would you be as hype as I am right now that the Knicks have pulled off a trade for Mikal Bridges? Don't talk to me about the unprotected picks. Don't talk to me about everything that we just gave the Brooklyn Nets. How about everything they just gave us? You think they wanted to give an all-star to the Knicks? It doesn't matter that we gave them unprotected picks. Well, I mean, it does matter to an extent because you don't want to give anybody unprotected picks. But we got back a player in Mikal Bridges. Those picks are likely going to convey in the 20s. And if that happens, are you still really mad? Are you mad if all of those picks are in the 20s? Maybe we didn't draft those years, but we were likely competitive each and every one of those years. The only pick that you have to look at that is very far out is pick number 31. Because that one is a little bit more of a question mark because I don't know what Knicks team we're going to have in 2031. But what I can say is if I just missed out on one pick, but for the other years, I'm fine and I didn't miss anything, the trade is still well worth it. It's still what you needed to do. And the Knicks hit a home run on it. Grade it any way you needed to grade it. The Knicks needed to make this move. There is no other way around it. They needed another all-star. They needed another all-star that doesn't take away from Brunson and Randle. Look around the league. How many players fit that bill? 2, 3 players? And I know the Knicks were talking about, I have interest in Jimmy Butler. I have interest in this person. Now I know why they were doing that. They were doing that because they were talking with the Nets for Mikal Bridges, and they didn't want to overpay, maybe give up Deuce in the process. So instead, they were saying, you know what? I'm going to say I have interest in all of these players. And maybe that's what it took to get the Nets to come down just a little bit. And that just a little bit, right there, that's all it took for the Knicks to get Mikal on this team. And you know what this trade also does? Bye, Paul George. Bye, PG-13. You're not going to be a Knick anymore. I know you might opt into your contract. Go ahead. You might opt out of your contract and test free agency, maybe get signed by Philadelphia, whatever you want to do. Go ahead. I don't care what you do because it doesn't matter to the Knicks anymore because we now have Mikal Bridges. If the Sixers even do that, it doesn't matter because OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, they're going to shut down anything that any team has to throw at them, especially the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's keep it going here with the chat and all of your great comments here. Britton says, free Mikal. Britton, my guy. We were chatting about this the earlier live chat, and I know you know what I'm going to say. We called it, bro. Mikal Bridges is a Knick. He is on the Knicks right now. We said it. We thought it was maybe unrealistic, but we never gave up hope. We always said there could be a chance because Leon Rose, he works magic. And I told you guys to wait till the offseason. He was going to make magic happen again. That's exactly what he did, ladies and gentlemen. We are going off. Am I looking at this right? Do we have about close to 1,500 viewers in here? If you are new to the channel, welcome to the Knicks Recap podcast. I'm your host, Troy, and I literally go off on nearly everything the Knicks do. But in this situation, I don't even know what to say. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really supports everything that we're doing on this channel. We're trying desperately to get 15,000 subscribers. That's the next milestone. You guys can help a lot with that if you just hit that subscribe button. And you know what? It's free too. It doesn't cost you anything. So please and thank you so much for that. And thank you all you guys for the super chats as well. I really do appreciate that too. But going back to some of your comments, we are going to end the live in just a little bit because, you know, I don't want to get evicted. It's almost, it's 11:11. It's 11:11 right now. If you're watching this a little bit delayed or late, in my time, it's 11:11. That tells me that the Knicks are not done making moves. They're still going to be making moves. Go into more of your comments, and then we might end this live. It's all up to you guys and the things we're going to talk about. But really, I just wanted to cover the Mikal Bridges topic, and I didn't want to cover it like I normally do. I know I normally drop a video, and yes, if you guys were wondering, this video will be clipped, and it will go up tomorrow morning, likely at 10 a.m. So you will be seeing a video about that at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So don't miss that one. Make sure you support that video, and you definitely smash that like button on that one too. But going back to your comments, Rose for you, babe, says, let's see here. Houston is clearly the best team in the game with 2 stars in their prime. Imagine if Porzingis stays healthy, they will be a step in the better direction this year. Oh, Boston. Sorry, not Houston. Boston. Sorry about that. So Boston. So Rose for you, baby. Let me repeat that comment again because I got that incorrect. My apologies for that. Want to make sure I'm clear. Boston is clearly still the best team in the East. In the East because of the fact that they have 2 stars in their prime. Imagine Porzingis, if he stays healthy, they will be an even better team next year as well too. They will be a better team, and shout out to your comment. I appreciate that. But even though they're going to be a better team, the Knicks are also going to be a better team. And this season showed a lot of people. It exposed Kristaps Porzingis because even though you have him and he's impactful when you're there, he's not impactful when you need him the most. He's not going to help you when you really need him when you're there. We already saw that here. He missed a ton of games. He missed the rest of the finals for them. It doesn't matter what anybody has to say. You want to give him credit for the games he played? Go ahead. But this season told me KP is not the answer for the Boston Celtics. And if they continue to run him out there, he's going to continue to get injured each and every season. Whatever you want to say about them, I think the Knicks got better. And right now, as things are presently constructed, if Boston does nothing else and the Knicks are able to re-sign everybody and keep certain players on this team, we go toe-to-toe with Boston. Do we beat them? In my opinion, we do. Because we have 2 players to stop those 2 stars. OG stops Jalen and Mikal Bridges stops Tatum. What are they going to do? That's why I think the Knicks have a good chance. But very good comment. I'm very happy to see from the new people in the chat. Let's keep it going here. Let's see here. Cuban says, now we need to re-sign OG. If he goes back to Toronto, they should be charged with tampering. He's not going back to Toronto. He's not going anywhere besides the Knicks. He's going to stay with New York. It's plain and simple. We can talk about it. We can say, well, yeah, maybe he went here or he's going to go here. No. He's staying with the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going anywhere. Best believe that is where he's going to go, and that's where he's going to stay. Maybe it's at $40 million a year. That's $160 million. Maybe it's $150 million a year. That's $37.5 billion. Whatever it is, it's the number, guys. It's the number. It's not the contract. It's not, well, he's going to test free agency. He's going to go to the Sixers. He's going to go back to Toronto. No. His agent is Sam Rose. Sam Rose is his agent. He's not leaving the Knicks. He's just trying to figure out the best deal for him because this is likely one of the best deals he's going to get in his entire life. The next deal that Anunoby gets will not be this high. In my opinion, it won't be this high because he's likely going to be dealing with a lot of injuries at that point in time that won't make giving him a very high deal worth it. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to wait and see for that. Roberto says, no one wants to leave now and everybody want to come here now. You know, we have somebody usually in the chat. His name is James. If you're watching the playback on this, James, shout out to you. But I remember you telling me the Nets were a better team, always, all in my live chats. I notice you're not part of this live chat. I think that's for a specific reason. But if you happen to catch the live version of this, or the replay of it, I should say, leave some comments because I got to hear your take on the Nets and where you are right now. I got to see what you have to say about it. A couple more comments here. Colin says, we don't need an aging star like PG, LeBron, KD, or John Wall. We got our squad for the next coming years. We have our squad for the next coming years. OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Mikal Bridges, Isaiah Hartenstein, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo. We got a squad, ladies and gentlemen. We have a squad that can go toe-to-toe legitimately with any single NBA team, West Coast or East Coast, any given night. Leon Rose gave that to us. Leon Rose created this for us. Leon Rose did all of this just for us. Everybody criticized him. He waited so many years to make the move. And then, his fourth year in, he makes all the moves necessary. Going into free agency, he makes the move necessary. Headed into draft night, he's going to make the moves necessary. Going into the rest of this offseason, he's going to make the move necessary. Is there a trend? Yes, there is. You know what that trend is called? Best basketball president we've ever had in franchise history, at least since I've been alive. Leon Rose set us up to get Mikal Bridges. He set us up to not give away any of our core pieces. He's given the Knicks at least one season of absolute greatness. Our window for championships is 4 to 5 years, but our window for championships without having to extend or pay anybody a crazy amount of money is this year, 2024, 2025. The Knicks were already a good team headed into this next season. We now have Mikal Bridges. We now have the final piece. We now have a team that can go all the way to the NBA Finals. What I'm saying, I guess, is the Knicks are here. We're ready. It's our time. This is our time, and we are ready to make an impact to get that championship that has not been seen in New York for 50 plus years. It's the chip that we've needed. We suffered for. We've watched other teams win. We've been this close for a couple of years ago. We always wanted to get back there. That was the goal. Leon Rose needed to get us a team that could get us back to that dance, all the way to the NBA Finals. He's done that. He needed to do so without tearing apart our team. He's done that as well. What do the Knicks have to do now? Go into training camp, put it all together, go all the way to the NBA Finals, and bring a championship back to New York. Bring a championship back to New York City. That's what we need. That's why we made this trade. New York, stand up. Leon Rose, stand up. Everybody, if you can, stand up a little bit, puff out your chest, and be a little happy. The Knicks have done exactly what they needed to do. We're not done yet. We still have other moves to make. But right now, the first move has happened. Mikal is on this team. The things that nobody thought could happen have happened. And now, since move 1 is done, we're now waiting for move 2. Move 2 happens tomorrow. NBA draft. Again, if you're still in the chat, leave a comment below and let me know. Should I go live during the during the draft? Do you guys want to see me go live during the draft? Should I go live before the Knicks are going to pick? Let me know in the comments, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. Now, you know me. I could go on forever. I could talk forever. I could continue doing this forever, but I'm not going to do that. It's late. I got to get to sleep. I got a number of videos to do tomorrow for you guys, so I definitely want to get on that. Thank you so much for joining the live, staying with me. Shout out to the chat gang. I see you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I love each and every one of you. You are the reason why this channel keeps getting supported. You are the reason why we continue to grow, and you are the main reason that I won't and I can't stop. But until next time, Knick fans, thank you so much for supporting this episode. That's going to do it for this one. Please go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.